Why was Edmund arrested even though he was innocent? Edmund was arrested even though he was innocent because Villefort didn't want the secret of his father to be revealed and threaten his career. What does Fernand's and Danglars' betrayal tell us about their characters? Their betrayal tells us that they were dishonest, jealous, and selfish people who wanted to harm Edmund for their own personal gain. How does this chapter show the theme of trust and deceit? Edmund trusted his friends, but they deceived him. Do you think the authorities acted fairly when they arrested Edmund? Why or why not? Although the soldiers were obeying orders to arrest Edmund, Villefort, the prosecutor, knew Edmund was innocent. They also arrested him during his betrothal, so no, this wasn't fair. The chains placed on Edmund symbolize more than imprisonment. What do they represent about his life and freedom? The chains on Edmund represented imprisonment, the destruction of his future, and the hindrance of his marriage. Why did the happiest night of Edmund's life turn into a nightmare? What was supposed to be the happiest moment of his life, his betrothal, turned into the worst night as he was arrested and put in prison. What haunted Edmund as he sat alone in prison? The terrified faces of Mercedes and his father, because Danglars wrote a dangerous letter about him out of jealousy. Who plotted Edmund's downfall by writing the letter? Danglars and Fernand wrote the letter because they were jealous of Edmund. Danglars wanted Edmund's job, and Fernand wanted Mercedes. Why did the false accusation seem believable? The false accusation seemed believable because the time was one of political tension. There was physical evidence in the form of the letter from Elba that he was carrying. How did Edmund describe himself in front of Villefort? He described himself as an innocent man and a simple sailor, not a politician. Why was Villefort afraid of the letter? He was afraid of the address on the letter because it was to his father, who was a Bonapartist. Villefort was a royalist and didn't want the secret of his father to be revealed and destroy his career. What decision did Villefort make about Edmund? Villefort decided to send him to prison. He believed that Edmund was guilty. How did the people of Marseille react to Edmund's arrest? Some were sad and some believed he was guilty. Who tried to defend Edmund publicly? Monsieur Morel. What did Danglars hope to achieve by removing Edmund? Danglars hoped to become captain by removing Edmund. How did Fernand try to take advantage of Mercedes's pain? Fernand tried to take advantage of Mercedes's pain by presenting himself as a protector during her suffering. How did Edmund spend his lonely days in prison? He felt lonely and overwhelmed by despair and anger. He counted the stones in his cell, listened to the waves crashing on the rocks outside, and heard the sea, which brought him some comfort but also heartache.